Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome to another game collection video. It's going to be a shorter one today, thankfully, probably after the last one was over an hour long. But we're covering the Sony handhelds today, and the PSP and the ill-fated PS Vita. So we're going to go ahead and start with the PSV, and start off with, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. We got Wipeout Pulse and Wipeout Pure. These are the PSP, Wipeout games, a lot of fun, but they're Wipeout on PSP in portable form. Not really much else to say about that other than that. I do also have Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I remember getting this when it first came out, and it was the closest we had gotten to a console-style Kingdom Hearts experience since Kingdom Hearts 2. This was actually the game that was teased in the secret ending from Kingdom Hearts 2 even, and still a lot of fun. Definitely play the HD version on PS4 though. That one's definitely better. Let's see. I do also have Star Ocean First Departure, which is a remake of the original Super Famicom game, which had never made it to Western shores until now, as well as Star Ocean Second Evolution, which is a port of Star Ocean Second Story from the PS1. And I've always loved how the actual box art kind of mixes and matches together like that to create two halves of a whole. But these are the first two Star Ocean games, so one of these days I really do have to give this a proper try. Unfortunately, I emulate most of my PSP games now on the computer. For those of you screaming, "That's piracy!" I do buy them first. I don't just download random games and pirate them. I don't emulate the ones I don't own copies of. But these two are known to have compatibility issues, unfortunately, so I haven't really given them much of a try recently, especially since I have my PSP currently packed away up there. Excuse me. Kind of out of view behind my head here. My PSP is kind of packed away right now because I've been encountering an issue with the UMD cover, the disk drive cover, that it makes the game want to like pop out of the thing and stuff. But moving on, we also have the only PSP case I have that doesn't close properly, and this is of course for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. So this is actually a prequel to Final Fantasy VII that covers the story of Zack and how Cloud ended up believing he was Zack, pretty much the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. I haven't actually played through this really, but it's got some interesting combat mechanics too. Let's see. We also have, there we go. We got not Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions. This is a enhanced port of Final Fantasy Tactics from the PS1, where it's got like new cinematics and so on. I definitely need to give this a better shot. I've never really been able to get too far into it. It's a big game, you know? But speaking of Final Fantasy, I also have the Final Fantasy 20th Anniversary Edition, as well as the corresponding Final Fantasy 2. These are like full-blown remakes of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls, just split up, so it's not all in one package. These, to me, are the best versions of these games to play, and it's just a shame that they're not available on Steam, because they were ported to mobile at one point, and these are like the only two mainline Final Fantasy games not available on PC now, which really kind of sucks. But Final Fantasy 3 also did get a physical release in Japan, but I unfortunately don't have that. The PS1's region free, so one of these days I'll actually import it because it does include English text. But what I do have is Final Fantasy 4: The Complete Collection. Now this includes a fully remastered Final Fantasy 4 in 2D, not the 3D version available on the DS, but also includes the Final Fantasy IV After Years game, which was originally released episodically on WiiWare, as well as Final Fantasy IV Interlude, which kind of takes place in between the main game and After Years. I have finished 4, but I have not played Interlude or After Years yet, so I really got to get around to doing those at some point. But to round out my Final Fantasy collection, I do, of course, also have Dissidia Final Fantasy and Dissidia Duodecim, the sequel, which actually incorporates the entire campaign from Dissidia in it. This is, again, Final Fantasy fighting game, and actually when I picked up Dissidia, it came with a calendar here, kind of a flip calendar here for the various things. And this is all the way back in 2010, where each month is a different game and so on. And it's really kind of neat. Unfortunately, I can't really use the calendar anymore because it's again 2010, and we're in 2019 now, so I can't really use the calendar anymore. So it just kind of sits on my shelf as kind of a neat little item there. I think that was, I don't know if that was like a pre-order bonus or what, but it came with it. I do also have Patapon, which is a nice little, it's a mix between a real-time strategy game and a rhythm game. And I've never really gotten too far into it. But what's interesting, I think, is I think my disc might be a little bit worse for the wear, but that's only because I picked this game up from Circuit City right when they were closing, and I think this may have been a copy that they had stored in like a demo version of the system, a demo copy of the system. I do also have Valkyria Chronicles 2. I've never actually played it, unfortunately. I was kind of pissed off with the fact that this ended up on PSP instead of PS3, where the original was. And unfortunately, Valkyria Chronicles 3 never made it to the West. But I do also have Harvest Moon Boy and Girl, which is a port of Harvest Moon Back to Nature for the PS1. Along with Harvest Moon 4 Girl, which was the very first Harvest Moon game available to play as a girl in it. And that was a female-centric version of Back to Nature that never made it out of Japan until this one. I haven't really actually spent much time with this one, though, unfortunately. But yeah, I've got Harvest Moon Boy and Girl, though, so that's always good to have for my collection. And then I have, of course, God of War Chains of Olympus and God of War Ghost of Sparta. These are the two PSP prequels. One of them I think is actually set between... I think Ghost of Sparta might be set between 1 and 2. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm pretty certain Chains of Olympus is a prequel to the first one. Maybe they're both prequels. I don't really remember. It's been a while since I played these, so I'm not entirely sure. And then the last PSP game I have is Assassin's Creed Bloodlines, which is this came out alongside Assassin's Creed 2 and was kind of supposed to bridge the gap a little bit to tell you what happens to Altair after Assassin's Creed 1 and help get you ready for Ezio and everything. And so it kind of bridges the gap a little bit. And I think there's some, it says, unlock and share exclusive content when you connect your PSP system to Assassin's Creed 2 on PS3. So since I haven't actually played Assassin's Creed 2 on PS3, even though I have it, I don't actually know what this actually unlocks on that. But that is it for my PSP games. And we've got a small stack of PlayStation Vita games, some of which I've already talked about, like Gravity Rush. I've already talked about this one in the PS4 video, so if you want my thoughts on that, go watch that one. Same with Wipeout 2048. This was included in Wipeout Omega Collection on PS4, and also Tearaway, which had the unique distinction of, well, it wasn't really unique, but it used the back touchpad as well as the front one on the Vita, which not too many games did really. But beyond that, I also have Little Big Planet PS Vita. It's literally just Little Big Planet on the PS Vita. I have Uncharted Golden Abyss, which is a really good Uncharted game. Not too many people talk about it, mostly because it's only available on the Vita. They never ported it over to the PS3 or the PS4. However, even though it does use touchscreen controls, this is one of the games that you should still be able to play it all the way through on the PlayStation TV. So maybe if I can track down a copy of that, maybe I can, maybe one of these days I'll actually do a Let's Play of that one too. And then I also have Assassin's Creed Liberation, which was a spin-off of Assassin's Creed 3. In fact, this says Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This did get an HD remaster on PS3 as a downloadable title, and I think it might be included somewhere on the PS4 as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's somewhere there as well. And then the last one I have is the very last Silent Hill game to have been made, unfortunately. And it is the one that is least like a Silent Hill game, to the point that I've never actually even played it. I'm talking, of course, about Silent Hill Book of Memories, and this is from Way Forward, and they do good work, but this just isn't really a proper Silent Hill game, because it's like multiplayer focused, or it was intended to be multiplayer focused. Yeah, it's got 2 to 4 player co-op. You can play it single player, but it's kind of a top-down, almost like a twin-stick shooter, unfortunately. So anyways, that is it for my Sony handhelds. I know it's a short video. I'm trying to debate on whether to do all my Xbox games in 1 or 2 videos, but that is what's left. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.